Welcome to Get the Facts, the show that gives you information on the topics important to you. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Today we're diving into a critical issue. How do we as a country manage solid waste management in the aftermath of severe weather events? Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, Audley Gordon, is here to shed light on how the NSWMA is tackling the challenge of debris cleanup across the island. We're going to be exploring strategies, challenges faced, and what residents can do to support these efforts. So welcome to Get the Facts, Sir Gordon.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's jump right into it. So last year, this time, we were talking, well, it wasn't this time, but last year you were here and we were talking burial.
Right.
Melissa is so much larger than burial. What are we looking at? What are we really looking at in terms of cleanup?
Well, I'm happy you say that. Melissa, category 5 is, we've never seen this.
Yeah.
And in a way, as a country, we are all learning. And while we are learning, we have to be cleaning up at the same time. So we long past the stage where we talk about burial, because probably some people would say that we welcome a burial.
It doesn't compare.
Right. So what we're doing now is to try to we have gone through the phase of cleaning roads, like clearing roads. Right. There are quite a few down trees. We're blocking major thoroughfares and light poles and stuff like that. We're pretty much beyond that. I don't want anybody out there to be upset, but we are beyond that in many regards. We have cleared most of the road in terms of making it passable. People can move.
Right.
There may be still some that we haven't gotten to yet, and I will stand corrected. But most we have managed to cut the trees out, and so you will see a lot of branches on the roadways, but you won't see much road block because of fallen trees or light poles.
Okay.
And we give thanks for that and big up the crew that worked from the moment Melissa passed. We were out in the seconds after. We had pre-positioned our chainsaws and our men, our trucks and so on. So you have to really appreciate people who give that little extra sacrifice. Where we are now is trying to get the excess garbage that come from a system like this out of the living spaces of people, out of the commercial spaces.
So like destroyed material, garbage sweep up.
Old thing. And I'll mention here, there are communities where huge flooding, massive flooding took place, and a lot of damaged furniture result from that, and appliances and so on. So all those are put out, especially in the St. James area where I was yesterday, Catherine Hall. Loads and loads of old settee, not old settee, it became old instantly because of the thing. And mud, debris from, plants or aggregates, or everything just washed down, and so we have to clear those out of the space so that people can begin to live again. And that's the phase we're in now. We still have a lot of tree cuttings around, and we have deployed tipper trucks. Last check I made this morning, the NSWMA have engaged at least 80 extra tipper trucks and have them deployed out. We are still taking on trucks, even as we speak, to get the branches there. So if somebody's watching, you have cuttings outside and so on. We are onto you. We just might be not there yet.
Got it.
Right. So that's continuing. But the major push now is to make the plazas that were, injured through this, the residential spaces, we want to get them cleaned up, get the stuff out so people can begin to resume normal life.
Make it habitable again. So has NSWMA resumed collection of garbage, like the normal routine collection of garbage?
Happy for that. We are always collecting garbage, save and except there's a 24-hour period when we suspend service because it was too dangerous to do that across the island. We had suspend for that period, but we're always in one phase or one shape or form or the other. Recall that just prior to Melissa, we diverted from the full court press in terms of collection of the residential waste and moved into Melissa preparation phase, where we try to get the debris that are thrown out of car windows and roadways, all those mini dumps that were created, all those loose garbage that you see flying. We try to get into those spaces and clean those up because when the garbage is flying all over the place in the wind, it's the same garbage that you would have tossed through the window of a car. That same mattress that you throw out at an open lot. The wind and the water will carry it into a drain or a gully, plug it and cause the flooding. So we spent quite a bit of our time, at least 3 or 4 days before Melissa, and take up all we could in terms of loose garbage. Now that distracts us from community collections during that period of time. And I will admit that we were behind a bit coming into the Melissa
residential areas.
We were behind in the residential collection a bit, and we were just putting in some special operations to get on top of the domestic collection. Then we get the news that there is a tropical storm, which then became a Cat 5. So Melissa hurt us badly at the NSWMA in terms of our operations. We diverted to clean up before Melissa to do the loose garbage and the mini dumps, and that took about 3 to 4 days. We had to suspend for Melissa because it was too dangerous. That's 5 days. And then after Melissa, we have to go to clear roads of debris and fallen trees, etc., so that we can open up the space. So we were really distracted, and now we are about 10 to 12 days behind most places in terms of our collection. Now, that's the fact. And, I put that out there, not to make an excuse, but to say that we have now stepped up back our regular collections, and we have engaged the services of additional tippers to help us. We are talking to people with private compactors to say, come in and give us even a 2-day, we'll pay for it. Just come in and give us even a 2 days to help us to sort of cauterize, just get back some level of normalcy. But we are pushing hard, and we're going 3 trips. So our disposal site are literally going open, literally around the clock. We have also gotten additional spaces where we are temporarily storing like the debris from Melissa. We are storing them in a temporary space, and then after we get the things out and people, then we look at another operation now to get them into our disposals.
I have to stick up in right here, Sir Gordon. We're going to take a break right now. The discussion will continue. Audley Gordon, Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA.
When disaster strikes, Jamaica stands together. Across the island, Jamaicans are answering the call to help families and communities affected by Hurricane Melissa. Now, you can be part of the recovery. Sign up to join the National Registry of Volunteers through the Support Jamaica portal. This is a safe and simple way to lend your time, skills, and compassion where it's needed most. Whether you can assist with food distribution, shelter operations, medical support, cleanup efforts, counseling, transport, or administration, every helping hand makes a difference. It will take all of us, neighbors, students, professionals, and friends, working together to restore hope and rebuild stronger. Visit supportjamaica.gov.jm. Click Volunteer for Hurricane Melissa and complete the short registration form. We are Jamaicans, strong, resilient, and united. Join the movement. Volunteer today.
Welcome back. I'm still speaking with Audley Gordon, Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA. We are discussing how the NSWMA tackles the challenge of debris cleanup and garbage collection post-hurricane, and in this case, post-hurricane Melissa. Sir Gordon, your team is obviously facing a lot.
Yes.
I figure people might be doing extended hours and all of that sort of thing. And recently, there has been concerns about personal safety of people who are bringing relief. How your team doing? Any extra safety measures need to be taken, anything like that?
Well, let me answer your first question. We have a very, very dedicated workforce. Are we perfect? No. But dedicated.
Dedicated.
I recall the COVID era. And we had the attendance at work was literally 100%. And maybe because we are so familiar with germs, we didn't get COVID. Nobody had hit the garbage collection. We didn't. It didn't hinder us.
Right.
And they were out when everybody was fearful. And I see a similar thing happening now. There is that sense of duty. That sense of duty. That the sanitation worker, the crew from whether it really chainsaw people, the parks and gardens people, the guy at the disposal facility,
all hands
everybody just know that, look, we are invested. And we know there's a cause to serve which is bigger than ourselves.
Right.
And so even though we suffer too, I have staff members that lost their roof.
Really? Right.
One of my managers was in the rain in our house, videoing in the rain. The whole roof gone and she in there videoing and saying it. So that we have people lose a car, we have people who have suffered minor and major damages. But notwithstanding, when you sign up for certain work, it's like the army. You tend to put your personal situations in a secondary position.
Right.
And do the work that you commit to. And that's the kind of guidance that I give to the staff. I said, look, this time is ours in history to lead the country through this first Category 5 hurricane.
And the country is responding to your dedication. How?
And when we go out, I don't know for others, but what I see out there is love. People glad to see us. They are happy, they hold on to you. It's like you're providing hope.
Aye.
And it is amazing how it has made now for a kinder and a gentler society. I've seen, people chipping in. There was a famous case in Marvally on this toll road area where a tree fell on a house. A lady lived there, I think, with her child. And by the time authorities would have heard and to respond, at least 20 odd boys from the community ganged it with machete and clear it and take it off her,
Yeah.
So there's a coming together of the consciences and the spirit is like one of, like we're in this together and we have to help out each other. We have to rely on each other. For a while there you thought the phone and the gadgets is the thing. And then all of a sudden they're not working.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you can't make any call, but you have your neighbor. But you have the guy down the road and the lady around the car. So everybody looking for each other. In my own country in Moravia, Clarendon, I was told that there are some guys who walk just after it. They walk to every house, whether it's be an elderly person or whoever lived there, to just check who is all right and who is not, what damage you suffer. They don't have the resource to compensate for anything. They don't have any special advice to give, but they wanted to know how you feel.
So people are caring and they're happy to see you.
Yes.
But I also want to ask you something, because in the light of all of this, this waste that has to be dealt with, people might turn to improper disposal measures.
Right.
They might start, okay, we have to hurry up and get rid of this, so dump in the gully. We start burning a lot more. Are you seeing, how should I put this, bad behavior?
We are seeing the people who are in very desperate situation, because I have to be sensitive in answering this.
Yes.
We understand what's happening.
The need to make the area livable, yeah.
People are at a point now where they really have to begin to carve out their survival.
Right.
When your house is flooded with mud and stones and all your furniture is damaged and so on, your first thinking now is not whether or not I was properly bag up this rubble or properly. So I don't even want to push that.
Right.
Now in those spaces.
Your goal in those spaces is help them.
Just get them to clean out.
Okay.
Right.
Outside of those.
Outside of those spaces where they have the severe disaster, I have to encourage people to properly containerize their garbage. Properly bag the garbage. People are calling me that they want me to come because there's a lot of issues with the worms and stuff. Because, because the current went very early for some.
Yeah.
It hasn't been back for most.
Setting in.
So we would have stocked up on stuff. People would have had stuff that they bought before the hurricane was even approaching. And we have all that now. So in the normal times, I would tell you to properly wrap it up and, and all that. But now I have to say to you that you can bury. Where you can bury, you bury. There are a lot of us, especially in rural Jamaica, who can bury stuff. We can, have a little space there, and that dig and put that, and that will always help us in terms of our own aesthetic and our health and so on. Just bury it. The people who have anything that is like damaged furniture and all that, you put it anywhere we can get it out at the front there. You just put it anywhere out. We will be coming for it, and we really want to assure you that even if you don't see us in, tomorrow or the other day, we are coming. Yeah. We are not about to abandon any Jamaican with their waste from Melissa.
Yeah. So at the very beginning, we spoke about, Beryl, Melissa, so much more than Beryl. What lessons has NSWMA so far learned from this generational event?
Well, the first lesson that I would say as a company that we have learned is that we may have to move to where, like the army and so, will confine their barracks, or we probably need as an essential service to have arrangements made where we can house critical staff rather than have them go back to their various homes. Because when you can't reach them, you can't provide the service.
Fair.
So we had great difficulty in outside of few senior staff that we had asked to stay at particular points. Your general workers, your regular sanitation workers, and so on, they spread all over.
Yeah.
Some of them are still not back out yet because they don't have nothing to wear because everything damaged. So maybe going forward, like essential service approaching a hurricane, especially when they say gone up to category 5 or something, maybe we should make arrangement to have at least a fraction of the workforce sequestered for that period.
Rapid deployment. Okay. Okay. Any other lesson?
Well, one lesson we learned, well, not we know at NSWMA, that I hope all Jamaica have learned is how much we need each other. We talk about the way we were, and people say, don't mention that, those times not coming back. Yeah, maybe they're not coming back, but I will say this, and I'm happy to say it. If the Melissa has taught us anything, it's how much we are interdependent. We need each other, and we must never abandon our neighbor.
Thank you, sir. And that is all the time we have for today. We've been having a discussion with Audley Gordon, Executive Director of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA. This has been Get the Facts. Join us again next week, same time, same place, for another engaging discussion. Do take care.